Hey guys, this is Calvin with Louisville Bike Night TV. We're at Kalen's Custom Cycles. We're here to kick Beaner off. He's getting ready to ride a mini bike to Sturgis. And while he's doing that, he's going to be attempting to break the world record of the most miles ridden on a bike, on a mini bike rather. You can see they're working on his new chopper right now. That's also going with him to Sturgis. For those of you that don't know who Beaner is, we're going to take a few minutes and show you about the Mayor of Fun. All right, guys, now that you know who Beaner is, we're standing here with the Mayor of Fun, who's getting ready to set out on a record-breaking attempt.
Well, every year I go to Sturgis, South Dakota, which is the world's largest motorcycle rally. This year, the Buffalo Chip, who I'm the Mayor of Fun there, they're having a bunch of people, daredevils and other people, setting world records there. So when I heard about this over the summer, I said, I gotta get me a world record. So I did some research, and because I race mini bikes and have a lot of fun with me, I love mini bikes, I'm a kid at heart, I learned that the longest journey on a mini bike was 455 miles, and I was like, I could do that for fun. So, so this is where I got right now, and I'm having fun with it. You know, obviously, I'm not just going to ride the bike. Because a tire is just as important. Right. So,
right. Well, you definitely look like you're going to have fun doing it. What is your planned route as of right now?
The planned route's already changed several times. You know, I've also have another project, building my chopper, and it has to go to Sturgis with me, so that when I get there, this gets hauled back and I ride my chopper back. So I'm really pushed for time, and so the delay of the trip's going to go one day behind. Instead of tomorrow morning, I'm going to leave Sunday morning. It has nothing to do with the rain that's coming tomorrow either. So just out there, I'm not
not scared of the rain.
Not scared of the rain. I made sure that my seamstress said this will not fade, so I can do rain.
And where did you find the bike that you're riding?
This bike was, it's funny, I talked with someone here locally, and they were going to give me a brand new one to ride, and then it just kind of wasn't working, and I happened to pick this up last year at a swap meet for $200 because I knew, no one knew what it was. The guy sold it, didn't know, I didn't know, but I knew it was cool. I knew it was something old and cool. So I there's no markings on it. I took it apart. I looked inside the motor, and it turned out it's a antique German-made motor, made from 1963 to 1965, and it's called a NSU Quick 50.
Okay.
This motor actually holds the Guinness Book of World Record for fastest 50 on Bonneville. It actually did 121 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's and who knew? I did not know.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you've had to put into it to get it ready for this trip?
The main thing, and that's one of the reasons I bought the bike, it was complete to a degree. And anytime you find a motorcycle, if it's not running, you want to know why.
Right.
You know, and if you can find something simple that obviously is a problem, that's a good sign. And on this one, it was missing a carburetor, and the intake had JB Weld on it, and then it had masking tape over top of that in rolls on the intake.
Okay.
So I thought, I bet it had an intake leak. And sure enough, I took all that stuff down and I found a crack in the intake. So I had Will Ramsey of Faith Forgotten Choppers here locally in Louisville.
Okay.
He built me a new intake out of one solid piece of aluminum.
Okay.
And then Dee Dee and Frank here at Kalen's, they've been with me 100% the whole entire build. And we pull the motor apart just to check some things, and everything looks great. It looks brand new. So
What about the paint that you've got there?
purple's my color.
Oh, absolutely.
Purple's my color. So I had some friends up in Lexington. They took the tank and painted it, and just got it back today when it's time to leave. I had a real good friend, Sabina, with Unique Designs of Upholstery. She did the seat for me,
Right.
and she's really great. And so it just made the mini bike just rock, you know? It's again, it's all what it looks like. Not, you know, you want performance and you want dependability, but you also got to look good, you know?
Tell us a little bit about any other projects you've got going on. Any other, you know, I know that may be a lot, but something that, you know, maybe stands out to you.
Well, I always do a lot. I'm the mayor of fun at the Buffalo Chip, the legendary Buffalo Chip in Sturgis. I also do a rally up in Nova Scotia every year.
Okay.
This will be my 5th year in a row for going up there. It's called the Wharf Rat Rally in Digby, Nova Scotia. My friends up there, they're so good to me. I call it the Canadian Hamptons.
Okay.
And it's right on the ocean there. This year we're going up for the Cabot Trail, which is one of the top 10 riding destinations in North America. It's phenomenal up there. And it's also the scallop capital of the world.
All right.
So, I mean, the seafood is just, you know. So this is my life. I travel. Every weekend I'm doing a different rally.
Okay.
Somewhere, someplace. It's really a good life. I'm living the dream, as they say, you know. And that's my job. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I learned the value of life, and I wanted to do something with my life.
Okay.
I knew time is short, you know, and I was only 20 years old when I got discharged. I went in at 17. So I started doing the things I wanted more, and that was work less, travel more, have more fun, do the rallies. More and more, I started doing more rallies. I started going to all the rallies, and I bought my trademark top hat. That became very well known, and I was in all the magazines.
Right.
And because of that, everyone knew me before they even met me.
Right.
And so they would come up to me like they do now, and hey, I know you. And well, because of that, I learned all the bike builders that were at the time in 2004. Biker Build Off was big
Right.
on Discovery Channel,
Right.
and so I was already hanging out with my friend Billy Lane.
Okay.
And he was living in Miami. I was living in Miami, basing out of there for a while. And me and him started hanging out. So when he opened up his full-blown shop, I started driving for him and hauling stuff. And I learned that for me, I don't want to go to a rally and work the rally because you miss the rally.
Right.
That's like going to a rally without a motorcycle. You're there, but it's no fun.
Right.
So I learned that I'll help get you there. I'll help set up. During the rally, I'll do my thing, and when it's over, I'll tear down and I'll drive the truck and bikes and haul them wherever you want. So I had a neat little niche, so I ended up working for Billy Lane, and then then when that wasn't working out, I started working for some other people. I ended up, and then sometimes I was working for all of them at the same time. You know, whoever needed it, it was working for me. I was happy, so I ended up working with Kendall Johnson, Indian Larry, the late Indian Larry before he passed. I still, to this day, work with Indian Larry Motorcycles.
Okay.
They're still going strong with Bobby Seeger leading the way up in Brooklyn. So because I know everybody, I'm allowed to do that, and it really works out so good for me. And I can do all the rallies. And you know, people say also, is that how you got famous? I don't look at it that way.
Right.
But I do got a lot of notoriety.
Sure.
You know, I'm just a guy having fun, and people are noticing, and I'm enjoying it. Hey, it's all good.
Beaner, I understand that you, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but for those that don't, tell us a little bit about the book that you've got, and you know, maybe a little bit of story there.
Let me show you the book. This is my book. It was written by, I wrote it, Timothy Remus with Wolfgang Publications published it. David Ewell painted the cover.
Right.
That's the most awesome part ever. He's a licensed painter for Harley Davidson.
Okay.
So he painted this cover. It was the official Sturgis painting last year. It's done real well. Everyone knows it's called Iron Horse Heist. It was such a compliment to do that. This is all my travels. My bike is now in the National Motorcycle Museum in Anamosa, Iowa. It had 320,000 miles on it. I had flown it on a plane 3 times to several continents. I did Europe. I did spend 2 months in Australia with the bike. When it was brand new, I rode it straight from Miami to Alaska and back.
Right.
I did 17,300 miles in 6 weeks.
That had to be one fun trip.
You know, and that's when I knew I was hooked. Because on the way back, I got back into Florida at the end of that, and I was really depressed, and I didn't know why. And then it dawned on me, I was depressed because it was over.
Right.
And then I was like, no, it's not over. As soon as I get home, I'm going to make some money real quick and try to work and save something and head back out on the road.
Sure.
And I've learned, and that's, you know, to keep traveling.
So all of that is in the book, and a lot of your other stories that you've
There's
experience.
a lot of stories in here. There are a lot of stories. Most of them are verifiable. I got a section with some famous people like David Ewell and Keith Nelson of Buck Cherry, Jeff Decker, he's a sculptor for Harley. A lot of my friends in the industry, I had them write a little something about how we met, a little story about us, and what I represent to them.
How long did it take you to get the book to print?
I've actually been compiling stuff for 10 years on this book, but it had a real good welcoming after it's come out. I came out last year just in time for Sturgis, so it hasn't even been, it's barely been a year now, not even yet, but it's already in 3rd edition printing.
Nice.
And that's pretty good. And everyone that's got it wants me to do another one.
Right.
And so I am planning a trip to Asia. I think that would be, I need to do Asia, and that'll be in the next book.
Okay. If someone wants to get a hold of the book, how do they do that?
I sell signed copies on my website, everythingbeaner.com. So you can remember, but I spell my name B-E-A-N''RE.
Right.
That's a lot. Everyone knows that.
Sure.
That's the French spelling. I took French 3 years at St. X here locally, and I learned how to spell Beaner.
Hey Beaner, I know you guys are racing the clock, but if you could tell us just a little bit about the bike that you're working on right now.
Well, this bike, it started out as a 2010 Harley. I used a 2011 frame. I used a 2013 motor. I'm going with the best of what Harley's making now.
Okay.
But I'm also doing away with some of their new improvements.
Right.
Like one of the things, let me show you the wiring. This is the stock wiring of a Harley Davidson motorcycle.
Right.
Now, could you imagine being on the road and your bike breaks down because you got a wiring issue?
Right.
How are you going to fix it? Well, I learned my lesson before on my last bike. And so this bike, we did away with all this. We did away with the sensors. We did away with the fuel injection.
Okay.
We did away, they have what they call fly-by-wire. I have cables. They break. I can get a new cable, or I can pull the cable.
Right.
You know, I've wrapped the throttle cable around my finger before and pulled it.
Right.
You know.
Now, this bike is your million-mile bike.
Yes. So far, I have 650,000 miles on all the motorcycles I've had in my life, And so if I can get another 350,000, it takes me over the 1,000,000-mile mark.
Okay.
So I'm billing this as the 1,000,000-mile bike because it will carry me over.
And you all have built this to withstand all of your off-roading and all your extracurricular stuff, right?
You know, that's part of it. I learned a long time ago. I build bikes for me to ride and enjoy.
Right.
And that includes if we're having fun going up a hill and want to see whose bike will make it, I'm there.
I know you've got some special items on there. Tail light, headlight are very unique for a motorcycle.
Well, my tail light there, that's off a 1954 Oldsmobile. A friend of mine, Dirty Dave, he was Russell Mitchell with Exile in California. He was his right-hand man. So me and Dave were hanging out, and he goes, you know, I got this this tail light I'd like you to have. So Frank Kalin, he fringed in to the fender a half an inch, sunk it in. That's another car trick that they used to French lights in. They sink them into the metal. So that was another little car trick. And I also got a 1937 Chevy Deluxe headlight.
Sure.
You see the paint, it's got a little speckle going on there. I like flashy stuff, so I went with that.
It's got to look good.
Absolutely, got to look good. It's important.
Tell us a little bit about the frame. I know there's some unique twist to that.
Right. Ron Finch is a metal sculptor. He's been doing bikes for 30, 40 years, since the 60s.
Okay.
He lives in Michigan. Well, he's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
So I called him up. Me and Frank rode up there to Michigan. We got up there for a Sunday afternoon, and we spent all day making the front and twisting. And it was funny because he had an idea what to do. I had an idea what to do. And then we got there, and something totally different happened.
Right.
And that's how that was born. And most people that know Finch knows now that's a Finch design.
Right.
And that was just the twists and the ironwork on the top that was done. And then we had Frank when we brought it back, and then Frank helped put the neck on and got all the geometry right.
Sure.
And then he let me grind on some of the welds and clean up, and I literally spent 1 week just cleaning up, trying, because we were going to powder coat.
Okay.
And when you powder coat, you can't use Bondo. So all the welds had to be completely perfect and everything's smooth, and if not, you weld over top and grind it back down until you're basically sculpting metal. So it was a lot of work. It was intense, but you know, it shows. It's going to show now.
Once you're done at Sturgis and this bike leaves there, do you have any plans as to where you're going with this bike on its maiden voyage?
Right. Well, I leave Sturgis. I will go to the Easy Rider Rodeo in Michigan the very next weekend.
Okay.
And then the next weekend I have to be in Nova Scotia, and we're doing the Cabot Trail. And then that weekend after that is the Wharf Rat Rally in Nova Scotia. And then I have 2 days to get down to Virginia to a concert. The remaining members of the Grateful Dead have a band called Further.
Okay.
You'll see that on the front fender of my bike. So I'm going to go to that, a 4-day hippie fest.
All
Good
right.
times, fun. But this is crazy, all this world. I need to relax. So that's a nice little 4-day break for me to relax. And then I'm actually thinking, I told my family and my friends here in Louisville, they've been so good to me, that I will come back after that, mid-September, spend a few weeks here. Hopefully I can relax a little and not have all this stuff to do. But then by October, I got to get out of here and head for warmer climates. Yeah.
Sure. Beaner, we definitely appreciate you taking the time and being with us today.
I really appreciate it, and I love what you're doing for Louisville, getting the word out with everybody. Biking's where it's at. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great group of people out there that do it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you all putting the word out and spreading the good times.
Awesome. Well, good luck on your trip, and we'll hopefully keep up with you as you're going, and then maybe touch base with you again when you're back in Louisville.
For sure, for sure.
Thank you.
Right on.
This is Calvin with Louisville Bike Night TV. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to go to our website, LouisvilleBikeNightTV.com. From there, you can check out our schedule, see where we're going to be. Make sure you bring your bike out. Let's have some fun.